because I always use the rudder for steering, but it says that there's like a thing called a tiller, but that's only for like really slow speed, isn't it?
That's correct. Now the reason for that is the rudder at the back of the aircraft hasn't got any airflow moving over it, so it doesn't have any rudder authority, we call it, when we're very slow. So the tiller is on the wall over there.
Right.
And it's super sensitive, Jason, so what you have to do is move it very slowly and carefully and hold it. The tendency is for people to jerk it up and down and it starts slowing us all over the show.
Right. So is it like that
would be turn right?
Yeah, and
that's turn left. So let's give it a go.
Right.
I'll knock the brakes off here, we're just knocking forward. And I'll get you doing this a second, I'll just give you a hand to get us going so you get used to it. We're super gentle with these flight quadrants and controls. You can just hear the engine coming up, we'll start to roll forward in a second. Yeah. Why don't you take us over to the right through that gap around there. So squeeze around. I can use what they call differential engine power as well, so I just squeeze slightly more with the left-hand engine. That gives us the offset. So I say you're doing a beautiful job. And eventually you'll see a yellow line that you can pick up. Yeah, I've got it. Great, mate. Doing a good job. So maximum speed that we can turn at is 14 knots. And maximum speed straight
20, isn't it?
30 knots.
Oh, 30 is it?
So did you want to take off, sorry, to the out towards the sea, or?
Actually, we wouldn't want taking off. We'll
then we go
here,
the Isle of Wight, can't we?
Yeah.
So that means backtrack that way, because that's south is that way, even though I know it's a little bit off. So we go turn left in a minute and backtrack up the end of the runway. Put your feet up on the rudder pedals for me there, Jason, because I'm going to squeeze you up a little bit faster in a minute.
We need to hold. Well, should we not bother holding short? We're all clear away.
Sure, I'm ATC. I'll give you the clearance. There's some imaginary buildings here. We're in Southampton, I can tell you. Takeoff roll of 737-800 is 2,490 metres. I think this is about 1,700, isn't it? Southampton, something like that.
Yeah, I think.
So we'll get you to power up against the brakes over there.
Yeah.
Also, even though I've lighted the computer, I've dropped 10 degrees of flaps in, so that should
Help, yeah.
help us a little bit. Daring to stick over 15, go on, let's live a bit. And off to the left of the runway, you can just see there's a little
turning, yeah.
patch there for you. There's the railway up this end, all you.
Yeah, there's a depot, yeah. And my house is over that way somewhere.
Oh, great. Okay, you'll need to just slow the aircraft down on the brakes, remember, with the top of your toes. So lift your feet up so you can reach the top of the pedals. You just gently press and she'll come to it. There you go, you can see the nose dropping.
Yeah.
I'll just move you forward again.
Some mysterious flashing clouds.
Yeah, cumulus flashio. You've got a tiny bit of a starter extension you can use there, so we'll use every bit of tarmac we can. Otherwise we might be ending up using a bit of the M27.
No, that's the other way.
Yeah, well that's where we're going.
Oh right, yeah.
Just feet off the brakes, mate.
Well, they're sensitive, aren't they?
Don't worry about getting straight, just hold it there. Perfect, because I don't want to eat up runway.
Right, okay.
So if you take your hand off the tiller,
yep.
Now, just going to do it now, yeah, perfect. So I'll do the checks. We've got continuous on both. We've got takeoff flap selected. I haven't got projected takeoff on. We're going to go whatever we're doing.
Right.
Brakes are off. Feels good, ready to go.
Okay.
So, I'll probably call you 80 knots. I'll call you V1 rotate, and the stick will need to come back nice and gently to about there.
Right, okay.
What you're looking for initially on the climb out is about 15 degrees nose up. So, black dot, there's 10, that'd be 15.
Right, okay.
Now, to help you, the horizon for your height is probably about midway in the windscreen. What I'm saying is, if you extend here, the horizon's about halfway, it's about here, isn't it, in the distance?
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you pull the nose of the aircraft up, the horizon will be down here.
Right.
Now, if you can't see it, if you can only see blue sky, you've got your nose too high.
Okay.
Basically, lift it up just so as the horizon's at the bottom of the windscreen, and that'll be perfect. I'll help you trim it.
Okay.
Now, to turn the nose of the aircraft right, you need to press with your right foot.
Yeah.
Remember to keep your heels back when we're off the brakes.
Yeah.
And then nose left, and there is a delay, Jason, so don't worry if it doesn't go immediately, just use your pressure gently. Right, should we go?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm arming up, but I'm going to take manual throttle. So
hold it a little bit of
hold on the brakes.
Hold on the brakes.
Yeah, so hold on the brakes, we want to pull the engines right up.
Yeah.
And then as you then come off the brakes and move your heels back, you're going to need a little bit of right pedal just to get down the centre line. So we're going to let the engines come right up, hold her on the brakes. Coming up to 40%. I call engines stable when I'm happy that everything's looking good. It's all looking beautiful. Coming up to full chat. Take her all the way up to big takeoff go and right pedal. That's it. Bit of right pedal. Take your time. Take your time. No, not with your hands, just with your foot.
Oops. Not the best start.
Don't worry, mate. Get back on the runway. We're through 80 knots now. Just left squeeze, that's it, you're looking, you'll be fine, and rotate, up you come, keep pulling, that's lovely. Good, positive brake gear can come up, so that pulls out and up. You want me to do it for you? Or?
Oh, where's the gear?
Yeah, so back,
you do it,
up,
yeah.
so gears up. Flap's coming up, don't worry, it's over speed. Get the nose up. Keep pulling up. Perfect. And we're up, guys. So nose down a bit now because we're very nose high. Speed's dropping off very quickly. And I'll plug up the speed. So the auto throttle's coming on. And there's the Isle of Wight. That's where I live over there. I live in Pompey.
Oh, Pompey, yeah.
Now keep your climb going. You're doing beautifully. And let's start a left-hand turn. There's cows out there and a Beaulieu River. Look.
Yep. The old airfield off the other.
Oh yeah, because they've got a spitty that runs out of Leon Solar, don't they? I see her over coming down the coast quite often.
So we're climbing at like 2,000 foot per minute now, are we? Just over 2,000 foot.
Right, how you getting on? Happy?
Yep, that takeoff could be a little bit better.
Don't worry about that. No, it was a bit unfair because we weren't lined up. It was always going to be short. So after takeoff checks, engines come, the continuous ignition comes back off. Brakes are off. Landing gear is now, the hydraulic pumps come back to off. Speed brake is up. Flaps are up. Nothing indicated. No greens on the flaps. We're all good, mate.
Am I alright for calls?
Yeah,
Line
yeah.
up with that, what's that?
Oh, what you'll see if I switch you over here, that's just a heading indicator.
Oh, there's the
There's
speed
your
course
course
there.
coming in. We'll put the heading round there just to help you. You've still got 13 miles to run, so you'll be right. Right, now I'm going to start you that left turn to intersect. That's it, round you go to the left. It's quite violent, isn't it? Some of the turns you have to do when you're flying procedures like this.
Yeah.
Good. Miles to run. The ILS has just become alive, so we're going to start following that in a second. Might be it. There you go. Keep your eyes on that cross, then keep that black dot on the cross. Good job. Asking you to fly there. That's it. Keep the nose where it is, don't start descending.
Rolling up on the ILS now.
Yeah, so we're on the correct flight path. In a minute we should see this one light up, which means
That's
the
the
guide slope coming alive. 10 miles to run. Just let the nose come down, get that nose down so your cross is, your dot is well above your cross. Push, 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 push. Push. That's it, glide slope's alive. So I'll let that come into play as well. Now I'm going to set your last stage of flaps. Get it nice and settled. Good, now follow that cross line there. Down a bit. Keep pushing. Runway's ahead of you, you can just see the blur of the pappies. Good.
We're at 2 reds and 2 whites, isn't it?
2 reds, 2 whites, yeah. 3 degree glide slope. A bit too far away to really see it at the moment. Push your nose down. Push, 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 push. Nice and gentle, but stay on it. Push. You're in your final descent, so just slightly higher, that's all. So, try and use, I'm just going to fly with you, little knocks, back, little knocks, back, rather than just trying to hold continual rate.
Right.
Little knocks, knock up. Back to you, you've got it, you have control.
I control.
And the glide slope's asking you to fly right, remember? Dot over the cross, so up, nose up, nose up, nose up. Pull, pull, pull. There's your middle marker, they're flashing amber. You're going to fly all the way down or land by looking out the window?
I'll probably look out the window when we get there.
Combination, go between the two now. And then the runway should be mid-windscreen on the way down. So start your descent again now, we're going to go, otherwise we'll overshoot the glide slope. Let the nose drop. There you go, bang on glide slope, beautiful. Keep that nose pushed down. Good, good, good. Nice. Keep it nice and steady. Just push the nose down, mate, it's just getting a bit long. That's it, now you've got the runway in the middle, so you've just gone 3 wide.
1,000.
Just
bit
before to
high
lose
then.
a bit of height.
Yeah.
Keep that, that's nice control now, little knocks and pushes, that's what we want to see. Beautiful. Back on the glide slope, that's bang on. Feet just lightly on the rudder pedals for steering on the ground. Don't try and steer by the control column, that's what everybody does.
Right, yeah.
I'll do the reverse thrust for you on this one.
500.
400 over
400.
to the right. Height's perfect. Just jinker right. Yeah, that's nice, nice, nice. Jink
300.
left again now, otherwise you'll get a bit more kick. There we go. Lovely, lovely.
Low.
200.
No, don't worry about that. That's
Okay.
perfect. Use the runway. You can ignore them.
Glide slope.
That's fine. You're fine.
100.
Flare up a little
Glide
bit.
slope.
Tiny flare now. Tiny bit. Tiny bit.
50, 40, 30. Approaching minimums. 20.
Push your nose down a
10.
bit. And then hold there down the runway. Stick forward. Stick forward. Steer with the feet. And toe brakes when you want. So feet up to the top of the pedals. That's a greaser of a landing, mate.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice indeed. Well done.
Bit better than the takeoff.
No, don't worry about that. I'll just pop on the parking brake. That's well done. I'll just take your feet off the brakes, otherwise it knocks the parking brake
Right.
off. How's that?
Good, yeah.
That was bloody well flown.
Cheers.
Well, you did it,
Say that to everyone, don't you?
concentration, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
really a lot. Brilliant. Well done. But, I think what I'll do is I won't use auto throttle this time. We'll get you just used to it, because you saw how much you had to trim it to actually get the right level of throttle to hold straight and level. It's really tricky. Right, so what we're going to do then is fly up to 9,000 feet. That will just get us over that peak on the right. And keep an eye on your speed tape here. When the flaps are up, we're really aiming for about 230 knots.
Okay.
So I'll help clean the aircraft up when we get going.
Right.
And what we do when we take off, we're after these speeds. V2 we want to get to as soon as we can, and then we say V2 plus 20, so we want 160 knots for the main climb out. As we then get above what we call the acceleration altitude, which is 1,500 feet above aerodrome level, then I'll let speed up to 230. What I'll do is I'll put the reference speeds up here, just to give you a little helping hand of remembering what speed I want.
Okay.
And what you'll find is there'll be a little pink box and a pink number with a reference speed up there. See the top of the speed tape?
Yeah.
That's your little reminders. And likewise, I'll put 9,000 feet. That's where I want you to get to.
So what, the
likewise.
141 knots, that's rotate speed, is it?
Yeah, the
That's
rotate
V1.
speed's 131.
Right.
I want you to see 141, and then as soon as you get that, I'm going to bang it up to 161, and then I'll take it up to 230.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, but as soon as and I'll call them to you as I do it.
Right.
Good. So,
The old pedals then.
yeah, just feet on and keep your back from the
Yeah.
top of the brake. That's
Yeah.
it. And knock your parking brake off there. Just goes forward. Give us a bit. That's it. And smoothly open the throttles. all
Brakes
the way.
on, yeah.
Brakes are off now, and you'll start rolling. Or you're
Offshore,
already
offshore.
rolling. Off you go. Nice and gently with the throttles, otherwise they get a bit unhappy. Engines are stable, full throttle, all the way up, don't worry about that. remember horizon just there, that's lovely. Positive rate of climb, gear up, there's your gear lever. You're through 160 knots already, so I'm bugging you to 230 now.
Going to bring the nose down a bit.
That's it, get her up to 230. So the nose has gone high, and you can see she can only do 180 knots. If you let the nose come up a little bit, you see this trend arrow, the green one,
Yeah.
that's telling you where your speed's going to be in the next sort of 15 seconds. So you can see you're starting to build up, and here comes your little pink bar,
Right.
which is where I want you to get to. Start your right hand turn, you're looking lovely and smooth. Got a huge rate of climb because we're still at full power. So you can pull the power back to about 95%, just to be nice to the engines. Watch that nose has dropped. We'll clean up the flaps. Nose gone very high. You're going to make it over the top of that. And you're through 7,500 feet now. Your workload's going to be huge because I'm not giving you all the throttle.
We're going to clear these.
Yeah, you are.
Carry on going right, yeah?
Keep turning around to the right. Climb's coming nicely, speed's nice.
They look high.
There they are.
Feels like it could be
You're
coming
fine.
higher.
Okay, and you can start to let the nose come down. So
Come
you-
down?
No, you're still climbing like that. Push, push, push. You're gonna be
Aren't they
straight through
too?
your
Aren't we
nose.
going to go straight into the mountains?
No, you're not. Here's the valley just coming up. The river running through it.
Bank angle.
The airport down here. You can just shallow out your bank and bring your speed back now to power back now to 78%. There's the airport.
All right.
Here's your valley. Nose forward. There you go. Still climbing, that's clear speed. I'm going to give you a hand with auto throttle. It's coming in. And turn, roll to the left. You're aiming for that peak down there. Right. You'll be below it. So get your height back down to 9,000. And you're going to scrape your right hand wingtip against the side of this mountain here, okay? Is that alright?
Yep.
So nose down because you're still climbing. Back to 9,000 feet. Well done. I'm going to put some rings on your screen. First of all, I'm going to put fix to the airport. And I'm going to put some concentric rings around it.
Okay.
That will help us because I don't know if you know, but we need a descent of 1,000 feet every 3 miles. So if that's the airport, which is at 2,000 feet, I need to be 3,000 feet here, 4,000 feet here, 5,000 feet there.
Okay.
But I'll remind you of that because it's a bit much to take in right now.
Yeah.
You're a bit busy.
Just trying to get down to about. So we want to get down to about 9,000. Is that
And
yeah?
remember that old physics stuff. Height is potential energy and it converts into kinetic going downhill.
Yeah.
We don't want that. So I'm going to actually kill your speed off. Start putting some flap down, slow you down, otherwise we'll end up too fast down the runway and you won't make the stop at the end. You'll be
Right.
off into the snow because it's a quite short runway. Nice. That's lovely. And then just come left a little bit now so you're aiming for that peak.
This is one of the hardest airports to land at. You
Yeah,
need
there's
special
not,
training,
there's
don't you?
not
to-
many pilots that are licensed to fly it, so if you get in without killing us, then I'll be very pleased. And to get back down to about 8,500 feet now, so you are dropping into the valley. And then this big basin here is where we're going to do our turn. You can see. So the trick is we turn inside this basin, don't hit that mountain over there.
Right, yeah. Do you use the rudders to turn as well?
Second.
Do you use the rudders to turn as well?
No, not
Oh,
there. They have a thing called a yaw damper in the air, which coordinates all the turns for you. Just come left, otherwise
Yeah.
you're going to hit this one quite sharp, you know. No, in the air, the yaw damper does all of that balance turns for you. If it fails, you don't have to use your rudders.
Oh, right. Is that the same with all aircraft? Or?
Only bigger ones.
Ah, I thought
Light
so,
aircraft
yeah.
don't have them. You've got to coordinate. You know, they have the turn
Could
and
work,
slip
yeah,
indicator.
yeah.
And this has got it. That's the slip, is the square underneath the arrow. So we are very slightly out of balance, but it's a tiny, tiny bit. Let's come back in now. And that descent, just hold us at 8,500 for now, that's good. So you're just descending, just hold that. Don't want to get any closer. Just stop your descent, nose up a little bit.
1,000.
Now the altimeter's counting down to the mountain, so ignore that. You're at 8,000.
Right, yeah.
But you're only 1,000 feet off that one that's just gone underneath us. Just come left a little bit. Then when we get alongside this sort of browny one, we're going to start our big left-hand turn. And it's roll round to the maximum angle of bank, which will be this arrow against this line here. If you go too far, it'll say bank angle.
Yeah.
And don't let the nose drop in the turn. You don't want to lose the line. Yeah. You want to go around then?
Pardon?
Yeah, go around that.
Start turning, yeah?
Yeah. Keep it cranked over. Nice. Now you'll see the river,
Yeah.
and so you're going to start rolling out and then fly down the right hand side of the valley. That's it. Nicely done. So roll out now, Jason, that's great. You can't see the airport, but if you glance up, you're going to fly over that peak here. So come down the right hand side and fly down to aim at that one there. And we're slowly descending, so let the descent start.
Okay.
So push your nose well forward now. That's it, hold it there. Just you want about 1,000 foot per minute descent rate, so just split the difference with the nose, that's lovely. That's doing very nicely. We're going to take the undercarriage now to give us some drag. Speed flat. Speed back. Now the airport's just coming into view, that's it there in that ice.
Okay.
And snow. But you can't fly straight at it because we have to turn right down there in the last minute or so. Just come
Right
left
for the
a
descent.
little bit so we don't get too close to the mountains on the right here. Just come left a bit more now. Just fly straight ahead. That's good. You can see that's Lowy. That's Innsbruck Lowy there. So just fly straight down and then keep straight now.
I'm all right for descent.
Yeah, just hold it steady. If you look at the airport and the layout of the runway, we want to get it back mid-screen. We want to be at 5,000 feet when we hit this ring. We're going to take off the terrain stuff, doesn't it? So we're getting a little bit low, so just keep it at 5,000 until we get over that green ring.
Okay.
And it's hard to explain, but the airport looks a bit flat at the moment. You want to better see down it slightly.
Yeah.
One of those things that you have to get used to in perspective. Well, now we're about the right height, so that's good. You can let the lows drop a little bit. You bloody are, yeah. Not many people fly that close, but I can't hear any scraping metal sound, so you're okay. No, that's it. Now keep straight there for a bit.
1,000.
And you want to keep the airport in the kind of middle of the screen.
Yeah.
We're bang on the right height, so that how that perspective looks, try and keep that.
Okay.
Last stage of flap going in, so the trim will change.
1,000.
And there'll be another big trim change here, because I've got 40 flap to try and get you to. Now that's nice. So not yet. When we get down closer to 200 feet, we're going to get you to put the hands on the throttles.
Yeah.
There's 2 buttons either side.
Yeah.
You press to disengage the auto throttle
Okay.
at 200 feet. At 30 feet, I'll get you to close the throttles, maybe a bit earlier. Then as you touch down, you reach forward and pull the
Left and
reverse.
reverse that, yeah.
Very gently on everything, if you wouldn't mind. Lovely, lovely stable approach, nice. Start your left turn, just anticipate that. And don't land long, there's a river right at this end, so we'll get wet feet if you come
Right.
ashore, but you can't afford to float, the runway's not long enough.
No.
Once you get close, ignore the pappies. Look for the piano keys, you know, the zebra
Yeah.
crossing markings. Land on them. A little bit high, just get the nose down. And don't let it float, get that nose down.
500.
Get on the brakes and the reverse thrusts. If you can left, you're just off the centre line. That's nice, looking good, looking good. Relax into it, it's looking lovely and stable. Push your nose down a little bit high. That's it, now she's coming. Just reach across, disconnect the auto throttle by pressing those 2 buttons, you'll hear it click. There she goes, auto throttle back.
400.
50, gently pull them back.
Right.
As soon as you touch down, go for the reverses.
300. 200. 100. Approaching minimums.
Close the throttles.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Nose down. Push the nose forward, reverse thrust. That's it, they're there, both in. On the brakes. Close the reverses, just push them forward gently. Just the reverse bit.
Is it 60 knots or something you come out of the road? So.
What about that for an egg? Beautiful. Didn't touch it, mate. That was all you. Very nice.
Nice.
Yeah, very good. Just pop your parking brake on, stop you rolling on. Take your feet off the pedals and then reset the parking brake.
Forward again, yeah?
Yeah, forward and then back. There you go. If you touch your brakes, it knocks the parking brake off.
Right.
That's beautiful landing. Really hot one.
Nice.
Didn't touch it. Yeah, with the reverse thrust, because it blows all the crap forward. If there's anything on the runway,
Sucks it back in,
it'll suck it back
yeah.
in. Yeah. So that's why we drop them out. Well, you're set. I'll leave it
So
to
parker
it.
brake off then.
Yeah. I won't do anything other than the bugging up if you want.
Okay, yeah.
I won't press auto throttle again this time for you, so you might actually stand a chance of staying on centreline this time. Get you to do it. The button I'm trying to get you to press is this one down here. It's hard for me to see. Don't press it now because you'll be you'll do what I did and you'll be off because it puts on takeoff power. So when you're lined up, just dab the brakes if you're getting too fast. You've got plenty of long runway here. If you want to do a rolling start, it's plenty long to do that. So just press the button that's down in there and it will power up.
Come on, there.
Okay, just in here.
Got it. Right. Is that it?
Go. I'll give it one here. Let's just go. And we are 80 knots and cross-checked. V1 and rotate. Good. Positive rate of climb, so gear up please. All the way, that's the offsetting, that's good. And you're only going to 1800 feet, which I'll put on the plug. And I'm going over speed control, so we're going to fly at 165 knots. There's 1800 feet, lovely. It'll draw that building for you in a minute. Takeoff checks, continuous, gears up and off, RTOs off, speed brake slow, flaps fine. Target. Your 1800,
yep.
I'm replugging for 1100, so it's a nice gentle descent. And 1100 feet as we cross the coastline. But don't try not to cut the corner off. Fly at the
we want that tall building.
Tall building, yeah, and then you'll pick up your. I know you can just about see that skyscraper here, but if you cut the corner off, you'll be into the high ground here. So don't lose your height too quickly, you've got plenty to go. That's a gear warning because we've got a bit low without undercarriage down. So I'm going to take undercarriage for you now and flat 15.
Go left a bit now, no?
No, keep going. You can actually, there's this sort of little peninsula here, you can kind of fly over the right hand side of that. You know which big building and where you to remind you that building actually, and then the checkerboards will be in the green just to the left of it. Height's perfect, hold it there. Trim change coming, take in final stage of flat. nose down, you're a bit high, mate. So nose down, nose down, nose down, nose down. Sorry, I was concentrating on your next trip. Got to lose a bit of height, chuck it in 40 flat. Get peculiar power. We're way high, so we're going to drop like a ton of bricks. Don't let yourself stall.
1,000.
Keep that nose down, she's going to drop. Otherwise the speed will bleed off. Start your turn.
Brake rate. 500.
Yeah, okay.
400.
Nose up a bit, nose up a bit. Don't
Brake
let
rate.
it drop in.
300.
There you go.
Brake
Fire
rate.
there. Fire.
200. 100. Approaching
Nose up a little bit, just
minimums.
pushing the backs.
50. 40. 30.
Grease it. Oh, look at
20.
that. And you'll go for reverse
10.
thrust when you're down. Stick forward, hold the nose down. Reverse is around the front. Perfect. And toe brakes. Amazing what energy you can get rid of from them. Just kill the throttle. The danger there is that we build up too big a sink rate, or we keep the nose up and then we stall because we're so dragging. We've got gear down and 40 flaps. Look between us, ace there.
Glide
Take
slope.
the flight directors off, just look out the window. So we're a tiny bit low, we can see the three red
500.
happy, so you could keep your height there if you want. Keep your nose up,
400.
just to correct that. So I'll do the back of your filming, so I'll just do that. Okay, now push back down again. Otherwise you'll go through. Push down, get make the runway look nice. There you go, push down, push down, push down. Fire down, fire down.
300.
You've got a lot of wind, so get back on the centre line. Start to sink,
200.
nose up, nose up. Look after the throttles. That's it.
100. Approaching minimums.
Good recovery.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Greaser on. Nose forward. Reverse. Good. 5 knots, reverse is closed. Good, Jason. Lot of work in that, isn't there?
Yeah. I always managed to stop on the centre line.
Yeah, you're doing I'm not just saying that, I do not say it to everybody, you're doing really nicely. Right, so this, my friend, is the ill-fated flight on the Hudson.
Okay.
So he was going off to the west coast, so we're at LaGuardia, New York, runway 4. He had an uneventful takeoff, so you'll be flying a takeoff. We'll head north after takeoff, so I'll put a heading bug in north. And at 2,800 feet he hit birds. I can't do a bird strike, but I'll simulate an engine failure. Interestingly, what will happen is I'll lose power on my side because we've lost the generators.
Yeah.
You'll see the generator alarms come up here. Where the plane literally goes to battery power. To save power, it shuts my side of the cockpit down.
Right.
Just leaves you flying it. He said, I'm starting the APU, and he's because the Airbus did the same, to get his power back and to make sure they could maintain power. It will actually fly on batteries for about 30 minutes, believe it or not, depending on what you're using. But it just gave him more facilities back. And then we'll turn back for LaGuardia, and we'll try and get it in, but we'll be coming in a bit like the space shuttle. If we put our gear and flaps down and lose our energy, we'll be crashing into sea and killing everybody.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it pretty late, and then we'll be coming in at a really high descent.
Are we gonna come in basically on the opposite? Are we just gonna come in, just try and get it?
No, runway 13 is crossing us this way.
Right.
So, like, we're on the 12th, well, nearly north, and runway 13, so we'll fly it round now and come back. It will become obvious once we get into the air. So, Governor, it's you're set for takeoff. It's your normal takeoff. Fly out.
Will you go for the toga thing?
Yeah, fly on that. And your button, it's just this, perhaps you try and put your finger in. If you have a look over the top, you've got one on your side, but only my side is the one you want. There she'll go.
There, innit?
Yeah, just press that down.
Park and brake off?
Yeah, park and brake off. You just press it straight down. There she goes. I think we've gone up to 10,000 feet, so I'll put it up there. $80 knots is all checked. And rotate. That's nice, hold your nose there, keep accelerating up, that's good. So I'm plugging up to 30 knots. Gentle turn to the left. Ease up. And you're just picking up this northerly route here. Nose has gone a bit high, just settle that down and touch. That's good, roll out and good turn. Just picking that up there. Maybe a little bit more of a turn to the left actually. That's good, and we'll clean up the flaps. Good, keep your nose coming up, let's continue that turn. So there they were happy, they were starting to think about what they're going to do with the people behind. Just coming up now. Nicely done. And about this sort of point they spotted the birds.
They actually saw them though?
Yeah, saw them, double back here. We've got master caution up. And we've got engine fires on both. So I disconnect the autopilot to close. Okay, our main problem here is I've lost power on my side.
Right. I want to level out our best to keep
Yeah, don't let the speed drop off. Try and maintain 180 knots. Turn left. I'm starting the APU to try and get some power back on my side. Keep turning left and maintain it. You can nose up a little bit, try and keep at 180. So you can turn that little bit of excess speed into height, but that's okay. So Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. This is flight Jason Doomed. And at this point they were offering the airport, got what is called Teterboro out here to the right where there's landing, or they were offering LaGuardia. He of course didn't have the advantage we've got. I'm just taking the APU power, so I'll get my side back. The advantage that we've got, that knowing it's happening. So we don't know. You can see LaGuardia back there. You see where those white lights are? That's the end of the runway. So start to position yourself for that. Just ease it. Oh yeah, you've done the nose. Brilliant. Start your left-hand turn. So we only get one shot at this, I'm afraid.
Ladies and gentlemen.
So I'm going to put the stage of flap in. Now, if we were to take gear now, we would start sinking. But right now, looking at our attitude, we're about right. So don't let the nose drop too much. We've got plenty of speed. Keep the nose up there. We can use the height.
Yep.
Nose up a little bit more flat. And more flat still. And now it's going to come down with the sort of descent path of the space shuttle in a minute.
Right.
Keep that height on. 1800 feet. Ready for gear?
Yep.
We're going to make it.
Yep.
How do you know? You're trusting. Right, now the speed's going to try and drop off. You see it dropping on your trend indicator.
Yeah.
Try and get it to 140 knots. Going to keep dropping. Landing flaps going in. Don't get back on the centre line. Just gently push the nose down, otherwise we'll overshoot the runway at the other end. Now this is where you can space shut it, push that nose down, push that nose down. We want the full use of the runway. So it's going to call you descent rate in a minute, sink rate. So start to pull up, we've got 140 knots, we've got the speeds. Just going to bleed it out, pop it on the runway. So start to bleed out that sink rate. Push the nose down, don't float, get it down. Okay, now start pulling, gently.
Approaching minimums.
Pop it down.
50, 40, 30, 20,
Pull,
10.
pull. Push the nose down on your foot brakes. Well done.
Yes. So if only you had that much notice.
Exactly. Quiet, isn't it?
Imagine it wouldn't be that quiet in the middle. Other people would be a
Pop
bit
the parking
panicky.
brake. Well done, mate. Very good. Very good.
Actually, that was actually, bang on the centre line there, I think.
Yeah, it was nice. Very nice indeed. Happy?
Yep.
Well flown. Very
you.
nicely flown. I'll go and